Schaller violin tuners are a great thing to have if you've got a violin that's got a damaged peg head. The nice thing about them is they keep the damage from getting any worse because there's no pressure on the peg head like you would have with a normal friction tuner, because you don't have to press the peg into the scroll box to keep it from loosening up. You've got a screw on the end of the tuner that helps make that a good tight fit. So if you take a look at the picture that we have here, you can see that this peg head has a crack right through the hole that the peg would normally go through, and that makes this an ideal candidate for these type of pegs. When you get your package of Schaller tuners, you're going to have the 4 pegs. There's going to be a reamer in there, which is a little metal tool, and also some extra, it looks kind of like sandpaper all rolled up into a ball, and that's if you have an extra large peg head hole. So you're going to take that reamer and you're going to put it in to the peg hole to make it the right size for those pegs to fit in there. Now if your holes are already really large and the reamer goes all the way through that, then you're going to have to go with using those little rolls to make it smaller, or you may have to rebush the peg head before you start. You want to take your tool, your little reamer tool, and you're going to ream the hole out so that the tool goes all the way through both sides of the peg box. When it comes through the second side, that's when you want to start kind of fitting your peg in there. You want it to be a tight fit, and you want that little collar, that little piece that looks like sandpaper, to fit evenly on the side of the peg box, and you can see that in the picture. Once you've got all the tuners so that they fit in there, you're going to take some white glue and a little bit of water, and you're going to mix them together in like a cup, and you're going to put that inside just where the collar is going to be on the peg holes. So you'll have 2 of them on one side of the peg head and 2 on the other. You won't be doing this to all 4 peg holes. And then you're going to take that glue and put it in the peg hole, just a real light coating, and what that does is that makes, it kind of seals the wood. Once that glue is dried inside the peg holes, and it shouldn't take it very long because you've got it watered down, that's when you're going to take your glue bottle and just put a little glue inside each hole where that collar is going to be. And so once again, it's going to be 2 holes on one side of the peg hole and 2 holes on the other. And then you're going to take a Q-tip and you can put some of the white glue on the actual collar on the peg itself. Make sure you don't have too much glue there because you're going to have to wipe off any excess. And then you're going to go ahead and put the peg into the hole, and once again make sure that you've got that collar centered on the peg box itself. And then that should secure that peg inside the peg box so that it's not going to move. The outside of the peg should move when you turn it, and the inside of the peg should move when you turn it, but that collar should remain glued into the peg box and shouldn't turn. Then at that point, you're going to let that dry, and you can go ahead and string the instrument up, and you're going to tighten the screw on the end of the pegs so that it will hold the string in place. And that's where you get your friction from. Rather than from pushing it into the peg box like you would a normal friction tuner, you can just tighten or loosen that screw on the end so that everything fits properly and that the string tension holds. When you're done, you should have a set of pegs that looks almost identical to what you would normally have on a full set of friction pegs, and you'll have something that's easy to tune and should hold pitch very well for you.